Hello, Facebook. Good afternoon on Sunday. Just got back from working out, wanted to say hello, and I'm sitting down to do some weekly planning, and I'm actually taking a productivity boot camp right now, and I noticed something that showed up in just about every single person that was in the course itself, and it shows up in a lot of people's planning. So, one, love to know 3 things you're grateful for. Thank you for tuning in on a Sunday. But love to know 3 things you're absolutely grateful for. If I were to start out, I'm definitely grateful for my health. It feels amazing to go get a nice, solid workout in on Sunday morning, or afternoon in this case. We're up late working last night and building our performance coaching program. Love to know 3 things you're excited about this week too. What are you really, truly pumped about that you're going to achieve this week? If you would, jot it down in the comment section down there. Also, if you know anyone in your life that always has way too much to do and not enough time to do it, definitely click share and invite them to come check this little video out. The share button's right there. You're welcome to share it and just say, hey, if you're looking for help for planning your week or productivity, definitely tune in. That's what we're going to talk about today. So going back to the story, I was tuning into this productivity boot camp. I was listening to everyone, and they're giving very specific tips of how to organize your day, how to make sure that you're really, truly productive every hour of the day, how to get rid of cognitive load. So one thing you might notice is some of the most accomplished people in the world, I can't say successful, but accomplished, they do a lot. They tend to have a uniform. They wear the same outfit every day. And people are like, well, why would they do that? And they eat the same type of meals every day. And one thing you got to realize is, on average, if we make about 200 decisions a day, the mass majority of them, based on research, is all around what we're going to wear and what we're going to eat. So what's crazy about that is if we spend all our time thinking like, dang, what am I going to eat for lunch? Where do I go? What do I feel like? How does that? Or who's coming with me? What are we going to do? You're wasting all these great decisions that you could be using towards making your life better, or making more money, or traveling, or enjoying the world, or spending time with your family. There's so many other cool decisions you could be making. Instead, you're using them all on what outfit looks cool and what's going to make my belly feel full. So with that thought, there's all kinds of tips about productivity, and one thing that showed up today, which was really, really interesting, was everyone was feeling overwhelmed. Even though they had all these great systems, they had all these great tools, they had all these great strategies, they consistently felt completely overwhelmed by having too much to do, and again, not enough time to get it done. So with that, I'd love to give you one fundamental little tiny mind shift that if you were to make this one shift in your mind, it immediately gets rid of overwhelm. It immediately gets rid of that frustration and that feeling of, oh my gosh, there's so much to do and I just can't get it in. And if you're out there and you're watching this, before I tell you what the shift is, I'd love to know how often do you feel that way? All the time? Do you always feel frustrated? Do you always feel like you have too much to do and not enough time? Or are you someone who always feels like you've got tons of time and you run out of things to do and you literally just can't come up with anymore? I'd love to know your perspective on that. Since you're out there watching, I can see the numbers going up consistently on the viewers, so please share what you're up to. But to throw this tip out there, it's the difference between being, and this is really fundamental, and it's such a small little shift, but it makes a massive difference. And it's a difference between being task-focused or outcome-focused. Task-focused, meaning I've got to get this thing done, and this thing done, and this thing done, and this thing done, and this thing done. And let me give you a really concrete example of this. So if I grab my journal up here where I do all my planning, let me flip it around and show you what last week was like, because I haven't started with this week yet. But this is last week. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that needs to get done. And there's a pattern of how these are written. There's a pattern right here of there's an outcome, then there's a purpose, and then there's a whole action plan. So if I was just action focused, I'd be right here and I'd say, listen, this week I've got to lift 3 times a week, I've got to do a run daily for 2 miles, I've got to stretch and do yoga daily, shit, where am I going to plan that in? I've got to make sure I'm hydrated, I got to track and measure daily, I need 7.5 hours of sleep. If I was task focused, I would spend all my time trying to figure out how to get all of those tasks done. And that's just one little tiny area of my life. So if I were to then go on to the next area of my life, it's like, wow, I've got to do a gratitude journal. I've got to celebrate victories. I got to learn how to meditate and get that in somewhere. I've got to be able to, pour my heart and soul in everything I do. I need fun family dinners every night. I need to celebrate victories. I need to, put money aside for the family fund. I need to play and walk our puppy. I need to tell my wife how much I love her and leave her little love notes. I need to hold her and snuggle her. I need to pray daily. I need to make sure, I get to church, do some meditation. I need to do all these work projects, and then I got like a whole page of work stuff I need to do. So if that sounds familiar to anybody, that's how most people plan their week. They bust out their to-do list and they just do an endless list of all kinds of awesome tasks they hope they get done by the end of the week. Some of which, if they don't get done, they feel like they're going to get fired from life or their job or their family or whoever else they're committed to. Hi, Mush. My wife is tuning in from somewhere. She's not here. So what's interesting is I'll throw this out there for you. If you're struggling and you're feeling overwhelmed in this capacity, you need to make this little tiny fundamental shift. Without it, you will always feel frustrated. You will always feel in pain. You will always feel overwhelmed, no matter what. And I've done David Allen getting things done, Franklin Covey. My wife is at Home Depot shopping for our garden, hopefully. I've done all these different planners and techniques and all kinds of stuff. And what's really trippy is when you go through all of them, the one fundamental flaw in all of them is they're task focused. So, Sergio, what's up, man? Happy Sunday. So the fundamental shift you need to make here is become outcome focused. And outcome focused is really, really simple. It's saying for every major category of my life, my health, my emotions, my family, my relationship, my spiritual life, my finances, and probably my business, career, job, whatever you focus on there. For all these major categories of life, if you're not familiar with them, check out our book, Live It, Achieve Success by Living with Purpose. Chapters 2 and 3 break down all the majors in detail, show exactly how, where, when, and what to do. But you become outcome focused. And so to go back to that same category of life, the health, instead of saying, listen, I have to go to the gym 3 times, do some yoga, get stretching in, run 2 miles daily, super hydrate, track and measure, eat healthy, get tons of sleep, instead of having endless lists of tasks that have to get done, I switch over to an outcome. An outcome, very simply, is this. And real simple outcome. Amplify a solid, rock solid foundation and fuel my body with optimum health and nutrition. That's an outcome. Amplify a solid, rock solid foundation, amplify optimum health and nutrition. What is the main outcome I'm looking to achieve? The main result I want to get to, regardless of what tasks happen or don't happen, regardless of how many of those little check boxes I get to check off or not check off during the week, regardless of what actually happens, there's 3 specific outcomes that I really want to make happen. Number 1, 10% body fat or less. Personal goal, just where I am in my fitness right now. That's gone up, that's gone down. 210 pounds or less. Again, personal goal, just where I am in my fitness right now. Second, stretch more flexibility, and more endurance. So I have key measurements. I know how flexible I've been over the last few weeks based on traveling and everything we've been doing. So I'm looking for key incremental improvements in strength. So I know how much we've been lifting weight-wise, and I want to see that increase this week. I want to see my flexibility increase this week, so I know exactly how flexible I was over the last few weeks, and I want to see that increase. And endurance, I want to be able to add more endurance to my fitness training because we've been a lot of doing muscle building. We want to increase the endurance there for our heart to make sure we're taking care of our body. So, as you can tell, now, at the end of the week, let's say I didn't get to the gym 3 times. I got to the gym once. Let's say I didn't run 2 miles a day. I only ran 2 miles a day 4 days out of the week. Let's say I didn't get yoga done every day. I only got it 2 days out of the week. Let's say hydration, I tried my best, but only a few days I was really super hydrating. I was only kind of hydrating other days. I did track and measure daily, and let's say I only got 7 hours of sleep instead of 7.5 hours of sleep. And sleep is crucial for health. But let's say that happened. According to people's to-do list, I would have had a failure of a week because, I did some stuff, but look at how much I missed. Look at how much stuff I didn't get done. Oh my gosh, this is horrible. I'm off track in life. Versus, if I got to the end of the week, and let's say only 50% of those things are checked off in the action plan, but I say, listen, did I amplify a rock-solid foundation and fuel my body with optimum health and nutrition? According to my standards and rules, I did that. I only got half the list done, but I really did that. Am I at 10% body fat? Easy. Step on the scale. If you have a withering scale, it's a yes or no answer. This week, I am. High five myself. 210 pounds or less? I think I weighed in at like 207, so I'm actually light. So, okay, I win that. More strength, more flexibility, more endurance. Strength definitely went up. Flexibility, hips are a little tight. I could definitely increase there. Everywhere else is more flexible, so I get like 3/4 on that one. And more endurance, absolutely. High five. Nailed it. So, Guilty. So if you look at the outcome versus the action list, you can give yourself the ability to stop having way too much to do and not enough time. And you might have a crazy week. I mean, let me pull up a calendar and show you generally what our weeks look like. This is a light week. Let me go back a couple weeks and show you a good week, or last week at least. So if I were to comb, we've been traveling, we've been all over the place. So let me flip this around and let me show you what a week looks like. And this is oops. Let me flip this around. So this is a general week for us. We have, from the moment in the morning we wake up, 6:30 in the morning wake up, 7 a.m. hour power, 7:45 LA Fitness, 9 a.m. question of the day, JRC TV, whoops, put it on there. And then all kinds of sessions all day long, meetings all day long. One thing you notice that might help you out, if you land up waking up and going purely into reaction mode every single day because you're reacting to what the world wants and what everyone else wants from you and how everyone else wants it done, you notice we don't check emails until 12:30, 1:30, 1 p.m. in the afternoon. That's on purpose. I don't want to live life in reaction to everybody else. We want to live life totally by choice, meaning we scheduled it, we live our life, and eventually we let other people start to jump in and ask us for other things or pull our attention in other places. And then we have a follow-up at the end of the day, 5 p.m. email check-in. The other thing I'm really proud of, and this is something I worked hard at, we're a young entrepreneurial company. We're 6.5, almost 7 years in the business, and we work our faces off. But I make it a point for all you people who are way too busy that if you notice down here to have, lots of building of our performance coach over the last few weeks. But then I make it a point, and if you look down here, see that giant chunk of time right here? 8:15 to 10 o'clock family time? That's one of my favorite times of every single day I try to sneak in. And that's where we get to shut everything off and just be together. And rarely does it get violated. Does it land up that we have to go do other things for other people? But I love something I mentioned a few sessions ago when we were talking on here. There's something called A Tracker Pro, and I love, the number one thing that takes up the majority of time in our life is sleep, 7.5 hours plus per night. The second thing that takes up the majority of our time, in our case, isn't necessarily work. The number one activity that shows up second every single week is family time. And I work really, really hard at that. It's not easy. But staying outcome focused allows us not to get caught up in tasks and allows us to be able to say, hey, we've got the outcome, scrap the rest of the tasks in that section, let's go focus on the ones we love the most. Anyways, I hope this is helpful. I hope you have fun. I can see that my beautiful wife is having more fun. Michelle, great to see you. I appreciate you enjoying the skills we like to share. We like to have fun. My wife is apparently picking up flowers at Home Depot right now. I hope they're pretty. She did a garden yesterday, which is amazing. I'll also show you guys in another episode. I'll pop out there and show you what she's up to. This looks amazing so far. And my wife says it looks way more fun, or it is way more fun than it looks in Outlook. It's true. It is a lot more fun than just time blocking. Rich, you're so welcome. Hope you plan out your day. Hope you crush it. And for everyone in our Performance Coach University course, we will see you on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday this week. Anyways, have a great week, everyone. Bye.